Hi, my name is Pinto Kali. I'm one of the pastors at Nairobi Baptist Church. And I just want to share briefly from Philippians chapter 4, verse 2 and 3, like-minded co-workers. One of the things that confuses Christians and non-Christians alike is when fellow believers cannot get along with one another or cannot work out the differences they have with each other. It's actually a contradiction that works against the very gospel that we work so hard to share, because the gospel is a lot more than just Sunday visits to the church. It's our entire way of living. And as we find all over the Bible, our lives can either strengthen the message that we preach, or they can destroy it. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27, Paul says that he works hard to make sure that he is not disqualified by the very gospel that he preaches. And Paul did not do this only for himself. He warned others of the same, as we shall see today. Philippians 4, 2-3. I plead with Euodia and I plead with Syntyche to be of the same mind in the Lord. Yes, and I ask you, my true companion, help these women, since they have contended at my side in the cause of the gospel, along with Clement and the rest of my co-workers, whose names are in the book of life. Reading through Philippians, you will notice that Paul repeats the same message many times. Sometimes he uses the same words, and sometimes he uses different ones. In Philippians 4, 2-3, Paul repeats the challenge that he gave to the whole church in Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 and 2, which reads this way. Therefore, if you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any sharing in the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being of one spirit and of one mind. In Philippians 4, 2 and 3, Paul is therefore applying the lesson of the chapter 2 challenge to two of his co-workers in the ministry. First thing, he reminds them, you are in the same team. You are on the same side. You have the same Lord and the same calling, and that alone is reason enough for you to be of the same mind. You must allow the one who lives in you to guide the way you behave towards one another. That way, you will be in agreement, you will be in harmony, you will be of one mind with one another. Secondly, Paul also realizes that this is easier said than done. And so he asks someone with whom he has worked in harmony to help these two co-workers to find a way to work together in the same way that Paul and his faithful companion have worked. Paul is not the kind of leader or the kind of person who is satisfied with his own ministry track record, for his own practice to be good. He desires that other people share in the same success that he has had, that other people, like him, will gain the same rewards that he is gaining from being faithful to the Lord Jesus Christ. And so Paul gets help for these two co-workers who have shared in the work of the ministry with him and with Clement, so that they also can share in that same work with one another, but in harmony. The third thing, you notice that Paul doesn't discriminate between gender. Both male and female have the same mission. Fourthly, Paul says something very interesting about these co-workers. Their names are in the book of life. Paul is not hoping that their names are in the book of life. Paul is not even praying that their names are in the book of life. He makes a definite statement. Their names are in the book of life. How is Paul sure? Paul is confident because he has seen how these co-workers have consistently struggled for the gospel, not for themselves. People consistently do what people consistently are. Pretenders cannot persevere in faithfulness. Those who persevere in faithfulness show that their names are in the book of life. How you and I relate to one another is part of our gospel message. Let us be like-minded co-workers for the sake of the gospel. The Lord bless you.